Guys, we're going to change gears here. We're going to get to the NBA because Austin Rivers, he made headlines on the Pat McAfee show yesterday with some comments he made saying, quote, I can take 30 players right now in the NBA and throw them in the NFL. You cannot take 30 NFL players and put them in the NBA. JJY, he clapped back on X saying, quote, you don't got a job in either right now. Go ahead and try it. That's aggressive. So listen, guys, both of you played football. What do you make of these comments here?
Look, man, athletically, I agree with Austin Rivers. Like, yes, the NBA are freaks, right? Like, I can think of a ton of guys that could go. Like, you're telling me LeBron James couldn't play tight end or rush the passer or something, like, if you need him to. I can think of a ton of NBA players. But, I thought Chris Long had a very good take on this, where he's talking about, what about training camp? You know, when you're doing 2-a-days and you got a constant headache and your body's in shambles.
Yeah, they like load management in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly, right? And your coach is yelling at you, not really coddling you. So it's like, it's not an athletic thing that stops the NBA players. I don't know if they want that toughness smoke necessarily.
Yeah, I think the premise is spot on. I do think that you could find a bunch of guys from an athletic skill set, genetic profile that you could put in the NFL and they'd be successful. I would say that the height thing does become interesting because football is a game of leverage. And like, as great of an athlete as LeBron is at 6'9", if you're playing tight end, I'm chopping your knees out. Right? Like I am sawing your knees off when I tackle you. And maybe that becomes an issue. But I do think a lot of these guys who had the potential to play both sports and probably could have excelled at both lean toward basketball because they got on a football field and like, man, this is big boy work.
Well, also,
this is difficult. And
the training is definitely.
And it's supposed to hurt because it's football.
Also, JP, this has been my experience. So you can tell me whether you agree or not. Anybody who was good enough to play basketball at that level plays basketball. Like, I know a lot of football players who loved basketball, but I mean, look, you're not 6'6", you're not 6'7", like it's 6'8", 6'9", whatever it is. Like, it just, if you can play pro basketball, you play pro basketball.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, in fairness, like part of the nuance in this is rosters are so bloated in the NFL. Like you got guys on the bottom end of these rosters that shouldn't be there, but they just have spots. And so if you can replace them with an actual good athlete, then of course they could play.
It got me thinking like which guys you really feel like could cross over into the other league. You know, we saw Micah Parsons. He's put up 37 points, got MVP of the Celebrity Game over All-Star Weekend. I don't know if he could have a sustainable career in the NBA, but it is nice to see that, he can hoop.
So he can definitely hoop, without a doubt, right? But so this has caused me to go look up the highlights, and he's doing a lot of that work down low, right? And then he's bodying people, and then you're like, okay, well, let's Google how tall Michael Parsons. He's 6'3".
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so it's just the NBA is just different, dude. They're freakazoids.
Yeah.
They're all massive. Like Chris Paul looks tiny, right? He's 6'3". What is Steph Curry? 6'3"?
Yeah.
6'4"? It's insane. So he's as tall as Micah Parsons. You don't think about Steph Curry and Micah Parsons being the same height.
You think MJ could have played football?
No.
I think MJ could do whatever the hell he wants.
No. Thank you. Same. I agree.
I mean, if he was playing against them plumbers
like
and firefighters he was playing against back in the day,
I can't.
Not this day and age. Nope. Absolutely not.
How about, Max Crosby? We got Myles Garrett, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud.
I thought about this. I can't find a single NFL player that I think could play in the NBA.
I don't know. I'd push back on that. Like CJ Stroud is a shooter. Like his game is shooting, and I'm sure if he spent more time in the gym working on his shot rather than working on becoming, one of the rising stars in the NFL, being a quarterback is as intensive as it is to become an elite shooter.
Yeah, like a point guard type deal.
That type of dude could translate because he is 6'3" and he could shoot the basketball, right? Like, to your point, I was dunking a ball at 13, 14 years old, throwing down some crazy dunks. I was also 6'3" coming out of high school, and my game was in the post. No shot.
No shot.
No shot. But if you were a dude who could shoot the ball, then maybe you translate.
Wait, how sick was it on the playground when you were dunking at 13 years old?
It was crazy, and
everybody had to think you were the coolest kid.
The type of school that I went to as well wasn't a bunch of other kids that could dunk a ball. So
you're probably getting in their face screaming too, wouldn't you?
Oh man, I used to be able to dunk a volleyball.
You're like, let's go.
Yeah, I
can see it now.
You gotta let them know.